Traders, how we doing out there? We're going into at the close, and yes, looks like the rally is back. If you got stopped out yesterday on some longs, I cannot blame you because the market definitely came on down really fast there. We're going to continue to watch what's going on in the overall market. Of course, wouldn't you know it, right back up there towards the resistance. We'll talk about that. Welcome to, of course, at the close.
All right, it is time for pre-market prep at the close.
3 consecutive highs, opened, matched yesterday's low, and then once it took out there, that's all the breakout momentum traders needed.
All right, traders, how we doing out there? How you guys doing in this market? And unfortunately, Joel is still not here. He's going to be gone all week. So just want to go ahead and make sure that's stated. And Shelly, I'm sorry about that. We can't release the Joel today, but we'll hold him back. Yeah, I'm sure he's going to be ready to talk when he gets on back here. He's enjoying the good old Michigan, northern Michigan, and taking a trip. Now, look at the SPY now, guys. Looks like we go and we crack through. We're trying to crack through that bear pennant, get back down there towards the 380s, and wouldn't you know it, today we reverse again off those 380s. You see here now we have 380.54, 380.66, 380.90. So 380s is going to be very vital the next time we cut through, if we cut through, right? And now you're seeing the SPY get on up there towards the 391. I talked about how I wanted to see it close above this level to really get me bullish, as we're looking like we're making our way up here into the gap shadow fill that I've been watching for a while. I've been talking about we could get up there to 400 on the upside, but who knows? We'll see what happens there. If he gets it back up there towards the 400, if the SPY can push, well, it's going to be all dependent on what happens on a lot of the earnings coming on up. Now, I did see kind of in the afternoon, right before I came on, there was release of Novavax. It looks like Novavax 2-dose COVID-19 vaccine getting approved here and unanimously recommended by the CDC. Let's take a look at how this is actually affecting the stock. All right, you guys see here, NVAX getting a nice little pop today. Let's take a look at the 15-minute. You can see how it really popped on up, trying to hold the gains now. Let's talk a little bit about this. So NVAX uses different technology, right, than Pfizer, Moderna. And a lot of people are kind of thinking that this could be the shot that might convince some skeptics to get vaccinated. One thing to note, though, is Novavax shots were 90% effective at preventing illness overall, 100% at preventing severe disease when the alpha variant of COVID was dominant. And this is according to clinical trial data. Now, one thing that it hasn't published here, and it's not given out, is the data on the real world effectiveness of the shot against Omicron, and the subvariants, right? So I think this is something to keep on watch. It's something to kind of state there that, I mean, this seems like it was made for the alpha variant, and the alpha variant isn't even around as much as it used to be. In my eyes, why would anybody go and get NVAX or Novavax? I don't know. I don't understand that one, but we'll see what happens with this one. The best thing is I don't need to understand it. The thing is, it is going on up, and we'll see if this can continue. Not a rip that I would be looking to buy, but hey, who knows? You guys can determine your own outlook there on NVAX. All right, let's go ahead. Let's take a look at some other news that came out today. Of course, we had Buffett going on his buffet time. Oxy, look at Oxy. Nice little push on up today. Energy is what led us today. Tickers like XOM, Chevron, Oxy, ConocoPhillips. Look at those moves, guys. Oxy coming on up, of course, coming off the backs of Warren Buffett's group. Berkshire Hathaway keeps on buying, baby. Purchase of 1.9 million shares. And there you guys see it. It's continued to push. Buffett's group now with 19.4% stake in Occidental, worth $10.9 billion there. XOM, take a look at that one. I was able to play this one multiple times, guys. Actually got some profit here into the 88s. I played this on 3 trades today. So can't go wrong here on XOM. I've been looking for this kind of oil play to come back here. And you can see here, the last 3 days, we really started to push. Tomorrow is going to be an important day as we come up into the resistance here in the 88s. You can see how we slowed up there today. Started going sideways once we got towards that 88. I'd maybe look for a pullback to 87.50s holding, but really we want to see this 88 just get ripped on the upside and continue that push forward towards the 90. And then the next resistance is going to be up there towards, I would say up there towards 93s. So we'll see what happens here if we can get back into the 90 and start pushing back on Exxon Mobil. All right, let's go ahead. Let's take a look at some other stocks that were moving today. Of course, the chip makers moving significantly. Let's take a look at technology. And you can see here, semiconductors and semiconductor equipment being 2 of the leading industries in tech. So what moved well today? Well, 5% up in NVIDIA. Really nice setup today. Really started pushing well here. I was looking at it when it came back through the VWAP here after kind of a quick drop early in the market. And this one just kept running, went up there to 171. Really nice day there for NVIDIA. As we'll continue to watch to see what happens with the $52 billion in government subsidies. It's something to keep on our eyes, but definitely AVGO, nice lift there. INTC, good lift. QCOM, good lift. AMD taking off there, kind of led the way. So we'll keep watch on this. Look at Micron getting on up there. Marvel up about 6.79%. So keep this one on your radar. I know Dennis has been watching this one. We'll see how I'll talk to him about Marvel Technology tomorrow, but not a bad day for it at all. Almost a 7% day there, getting some lift. All right. Is the chip bill progress or regress? Well, it helps U.S. It helps keep companies stay here, right, and kind of build here. It's a progression. But the big thing is what's going on with the Senate vote. I haven't really seen anything, an update. I need to take a look out there. I was seeing nothing at least mentioned right now about it. Let me know if you guys saw the vote go through there or not. Let's get into some other plays that are out there. If you guys got some stocks that kind of moved today that you guys want to cover, feel free to go ahead and bring it up in the chat. We'll see what happens with that bill. Earnings, we touched those earnings this morning. I don't think we need to go into those plays. There's not much movement that came out of that. So let's just go to Netflix. We'll let you guys know that we will be doing the Netflix earnings call right here on Benzinga. That's going to be at 6 p.m. Eastern. So if you guys want to come on back here and catch us at 6 p.m. Eastern, I will be going into the earnings. I might even do some reactionary time. We'll see how the earnings really come out after 4 p.m., how the stock kind of moves. But then we'll cover it, of course, on the earnings call as they got it at 6 p.m. Eastern. All right, let's go ahead. Let's take a look at what else is doing well right now. And Netflix earnings outlook is going to be all about the projected loss of 2 million subscribers. Do we kind of keep pushing on there? Do we get more clarity on the advertising tier and cracking down of password sharings to kind of get the growth going again? Estimated EPS here is $2.96 and estimated revenues of $8.04 billion. We'll see. I talked about it in the pre-market today that I was looking to see if Netflix could make that 200 run and then a sell-off going into the close. There you see it, guys, through the 200, and wouldn't you know it, now that it's getting towards the close, it is starting to drop. I think some people are taking profits into the move today and then watching it come back down here. Great trade today if you're able to nail this. This went down there below 190s, back up there 10 points today. Not a bad trade at all there in Netflix if you're able to nail that. It definitely was one of the biggest stocks that I was watching today. J&J did get faded, so keep that one on watch. We'll see what happens. John got a put on earnings. What's your opinion? On which one? One life, one chance. All right, we'll see what happens there on Netflix. It's going to be interesting. Netflix is definitely going to affect also Disney. So look at Disney. Look how that's running into the earnings of Netflix here. Not a bad little run there in Disney, up there back towards the 99. If for any reason you can see Disney go up today, Netflix go up, it would get clear back over that 100. Been waiting to see what happens with Disney there. All right, Netflix. So in my eyes, I expect to actually see them getting lower than the 2 million projected of a loss. So maybe like 1 million subscribers they lost on the period. Or what if they would come in positive, right? What if they didn't lose? Or maybe very little they lost subscribers for the period? Would that be a kind of a step up and you see Netflix kind of push back? We'll see what happens. In my eyes, I'm going to go and say that it comes in light of the 2 million subscribers, thus reversing the bear trend there in Netflix for the earnings. And you see a little bit of a spike. We'll see what happens. No one knows. And when it comes into earnings, it's 50-50. And sometimes at best, it may be 40-60 if you know like kind of the environment or something like that. But in this stock, it's all going to depend on what happens to those subscribers. All right, let's go towards the kind of the leadership. Why don't we take a look at leadership? How did the leadership perform today? Apple getting back above the 150. I've talked about how important that 150 is for it. Look how we reclaim it today. That's going to be very vital. If Apple can hold 150, I think we get on up there in the SPY into the 400 zone. But if it can't, we'll be right back down there towards those 380s. It'll be on my radar. Amazon having a great day today. I've talked about it. If Amazon continues to strength, I'm going to be looking at names like Melly and names like Shop to get that lift. Look at Shop getting a little bit of a lift today, and then also giving us some news out there, partnering with YouTube and adding live shopping tools to allow users to purchase products without leaving its website. Good news here for Shop. Trying to get that lift. Tried to hold up there towards the 34. We'll see what happens in this one. Not a bad day there for Shop and Amazon. Meta up 5.24%. So definitely getting that lift. And of course, don't forget Google. Really strong day. Getting back there towards the 115. And the question is now is, can it get a run after the split? Well, it didn't get the run into the split, so who knows? Maybe it gets the run after the split. Normally, it's the opposite array around, but hey, I'm not going to go ahead and fight here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to call out the 110 as risk right now. As long as the 110 holds here, I think it could get back up there towards the 120. We'll see what happens there in Goog and the Alphabet. Push the like. I appreciate you. All right, let's keep going. Hey, Cole. Hey, Joel. Joel's not here. It's Mitch, man. No, Joel's out a little bit, but we'll see what happens there. Visa puts a good play. Well, let's take a look there. Visa getting that lift, and it's in the credit services. One thing to note, and I'm going to go ahead and just take off my drawings here for Visa, is take a look at how you're going sideways now. Sideways is what you want to see with a weak stock. Not declining like you've seen in Square, right? Square, it kind of went sideways, sideways, sideways. We got to push. Boom, it dropped. Now you're seeing a little bit of sideways, but take a look at Visa. Look how sideways this has been for weeks and weeks. Pretty much since November to where we are, we're about a change in only 4%, maybe $9. So this shows to me that this is hanging on. This is a bull that wants to hang on. And in my eyes, I wouldn't be trading this on the downside. A lot of that also based on the 200-day moving average. I've talked about this early in the show on PreMarket Prep. 200-day moving average represents bullish and bearish charts for me. In my eyes, this is trying to get back into the bullish zone, not a bearish zone. So I would be playing this probably towards the upside versus the downside. But to each his own, it's all about what you want to look at, Alvin. If you think this is a put, hey, maybe that's what you think is best. Always go with your own opinion, and that's how you build up your confidence. Doesn't mean that you should go into it, But just think about it. If this is your trade, plan it out and do what you got to do. All right, Mara, yeah, the Bitcoin stocks are up significantly, getting that boost. I don't think this rally is going to continue on, because I think at the end of the day, you might see a boost in Bitcoin to maybe like 30,000. But how much further are you going to see a Bitcoin boost, especially with all the things that you've gotten mentioned out of what's going on in the Bitcoin environment? I'll show you guys Bitcoin charts here. And you guys tell me what you guys think. At least in my eyes, I don't know. I mean, I think maybe we can get to 28,000 in Bitcoin, get a bounce back up there towards the prior support. But I think we take out 20,000 in the long run. To each his own if you want to take some of these shots in Bitcoin. But I don't know. I think this is kind of hard momentum to ride. Can you ride the momentum as far as it goes? Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Take a look at HUT. Take a look at Riot. Take a look at MSTR. These have made good moves up, so can't blame you if you're able to capture some of this kind of intraday action. I just wouldn't be swinging this because I don't know. I don't trust these stocks one bit. All right, we'll see what happens there. Bitcoin pump is just beginning. Hey, well, I mean, in my eyes, we're still in what they call a crypto winter. And crypto winters usually take about 4 years. It's only been a couple of months, guys. Why do you guys think the bear markets are going away in Bitcoin so fast? Would love to know. But hey, I'm just pointing out the patterns that are in the past. If you're looking for 12,000 last week on Bitcoin, if Bitcoin goes to 28,000, Mara going much higher? Yeah, I agree. It could go higher. It could also go lower. We'll see what happens. Is it a bad play to play? No, it's not a bad play. I mean, it's decent to when it runs, it runs. And that's one thing that you can definitely look at in Mara. All right, let's go ahead. Let's keep on taking a look at some other trades on out there. You guys, best trade on the day for me was CNK. CNK was a really good trade today. If you guys didn't catch this, we talked about it this morning, that it was moving up on a Morgan Stanley upgrade to overweight from eco weight. And Morgan Stanley said the return of consumers to theater represents a trend not reflected in the stock price. And boom, baby, not a bad day there. Trying to make a push through the 18s. It eventually did and got all the way up there towards 1879. Not a bad move there in Cinemark. Hope somebody was able to capture that move. All right, let's go ahead. Let's continue going. Let's take a look at some other plays. Boeing continuing to move after, of course, some more kind of release on their deals here. Over the past 2 days, we've had a bunch of deals released. The deal now included 5 787 Dreamliners from AerCap and orders from 737 MAX jets for Aviation Capital Group and 777 partners. So we'll see what happens here. Looks like BA continuing that rise. Can it get above the 157? I've talked about that level. If we can get through there, we might be able to get into the shadow zone, which is up there towards 162. We'll see what happens there for Boeing. All right, seeing a lot of people talking in the chat. What are you guys taking a look at? We'll see what happens. Triple D said Bitcoin is like the NASDAQ stock. Well, I do agree with that. It moves very closely, but I think it moves closely with the overall market. I don't know if it moves necessarily so close with NASDAQ, but hey, maybe Triple D has done the research more than I have. I know he sees things more because he gets to focus on trading a little bit more than just running shows. But hey, can't go wrong with taking a look at Bitcoin. Just in my eyes, it's not a long-term investment here. It's a rip that I would sell, but to each his own. As Triple D says, nobody knows, and that's the truth. Nobody knows. Let's go ahead. Let's continue going. What other things should we take a look at? Let's go. What do we want to talk about? Let me look through my news. What other things do we want to touch? There's not really too much out there. I mean, we can touch what else was hot today. It looks like energy led, of course. We talked about that. Industrials, there was metal fabrication and trucking that had a good lift there. So keep that on your radar. we'll see if these can continue making moves. I didn't see too many of these names that most people know. We had cheaper names that were making some lift there, but nothing that really stood out to me. DE, though, did get off the ground. If you want to take a look at that, Caterpillar got off the ground. We'll see if these can kind of continue making lifts or not. What dragged a little bit today was utilities. It wasn't the biggest move on up. It was essentially just barely green there for Duke. NEE was slightly up, so keep that one on your radar. But basic materials didn't have the worst day either. You could take a look there at this WFG. Really got a big boost in the pre-market. Wasn't able to hold the gains in the intra-day market. We'll see what happens there. Steel getting back up. We've talked about this one. Now you're seeing NUEs really starting to take a little bit of a lead here. Take a look at this chart as it's trying to get back through that 118. Let's take a look at Steel Dynamics. That was down actually today. Cleveland Cliff, though, up about 5.8. We were talking about this one this morning. Couldn't get the lift there. Boom, $16, baby. Gets on up there. Not a bad day there. And, of course, X about to get on up there through the 1930s. We'll see if it can continue going. A 4.3% day there. All right, Cinemark was a nice trade there. Let's continue going. What other ones you guys got? BRG. I don't even. Brogue Warners. Not one that I've traded before, but hey, can't blame you on that. All right, puts on everything. We'll see what happens there. All right, so Tesla trying to come back up. Home Depot with not a bad move there. Forgot who tagged me. I know someone from the chat tagged me on this chart. And they called it to pretty good T, so we'll see what happens there. Let's go to Twitter. I see you in the chat. Twitter getting a little bit of a lift. Of course, the Twitter saga continuing. The battle is on there. So I did see mentions that looks like Twitter won its motion for an expected expedited trial in the lawsuits against Elon Musk on Tuesday. Of course, what they're looking for is a 4-day trial to commence in September. Elon was looking for the trial to start next year, giving them some time to get ready. And of course, Twitter actually won this motion, and it looks like it's going to be a little bit sooner than later. So we'll keep watch to see what happens in Twitter. As it's coming back up there towards the 40s, we'll see if it can get back up there towards, let's say, 41. That's really where we'll see it start getting back and pushing towards the 45. All right, let's go ahead. Let's take a look there. Patrick wants to talk about some gambling stocks. Yeah, they didn't have a bad day there. We'll go ahead. Let's take a look. DKNG. All right, you can see DraftKings really battling down here towards the 10s and the 11s. This is why I'm starting to really think about taking a swing in DraftKings. It's made a huge turnaround on the downside. So, of course, it would be kind of getting into a new trend. But there's been a lot of volume put in the last 2 days here. Something to keep on watch is DraftKings off the floor. And with that, of course, Penn, you can see that trying to hold and get back up there towards the 33s. Something to keep on watch. Of course, we'll see how these kind of perform going into the football season. All right, AMC being mentioned there. Of course, the Apes kind of saw that turnaround today. It did look like it was boosting there. Got through the 1750, got up there almost to the 18, but then just quickly came on down. We'll see if it can hold the pullback here around the 1625s, 16s, and then get back up through 17 tomorrow. All right, SI. I think someone's mentioning Silvergate. Let's take a look there. Not a bad one. Definitely a nice lift there. The banks really kind of got some strength again today. If you take a look at Goldman Sachs and Silvergate, look at those moves. Big moves on back up. So Goldman Sachs, after it held 300 yesterday, what a nice trade there through the 305 today. And you weren't even going to take some heat. If you got it at 305, it never even came back down there. Broke out through there almost to the 320s. Not a bad day there for Goldman Sachs. And SI, yeah, not a bad day either. Citigroup, also not a bad day. With that being said, You saw PayPal get off the ground there. So who knows? Maybe that Square trade finally starts turning around. PayPal's down there towards 70, 75, and this was at one point $300. So it's pulled back more than it needs to here. Finally, we're starting to see PayPal come back. Now I'm wondering, is now the time to go looking in PayPal? We'll see what happened there. Joel not here, but I don't know. Maybe someone's calling me Joel. Who knows? I think it's Alvin. Alvin, my name is Mitch, man. Joel's the other guy. No worries, though, Alvin. I won't be mad. The VIX isn't really low, though. Shouldn't we be looking for a bounce in the VIX? Yeah, it could very much happen. But if you've seen the stocks rise, you probably won't see the VIX get that bounce, right? And so you see a need to take out, I would say, the 380s really to start seeing that VIX just rise on up. MRO being mentioned in the chat. Marathon Oil got a nice lift there through the 22s today. Let's take a look at this. Nice little sideways chart here off the VWAP. Bounced multiple times here. Got a 1 up, 1 down, 2 up, 2 down, 3 up, 3 down. You guys know how my rule of 3 plays in. If it can hold that support after that kind of push 3 times to resistance, you look for that to kind of hold there and hold towards, like, kind of, let's say, the pre-market highs, or you could kind of put it down there towards those pre-market highs. You can see here, it pulls back right into those levels and then takes off towards the upside. Not a bad trade there, MRO. No worries, Alvin. It's all good. That's why I was letting you get on that. No worries, man. It happens. All right, let's continue going. We're not having a very good time here. Stupid market rebound. Jonathan, it's just how it is, man. In this market, you never know where the market's heading. And that's the important thing, is that if you play too hard in one direction, it can really hurt. I can't blame you, Jonathan, for thinking like that. It doesn't seem like it's logical to get right back up there, but that's how this market is. It likes to wash out a lot of retail traders and institutions probably making money, seeing these lows, hanging through the volatility, and watching this candle get back on up there. And this is actually a really bullish candle now. We're getting a bullish engulfing pattern here, which could really start driving us. This is why I'm going to be actually bullish tomorrow, going into that 400 level. And then, of course, next week, of course, the Fed will come in, and the Fed will probably knock this rally down. But for right now, I see rally on, baby. Rally is on, baby, like Donkey Kong. Let's go. Let's go. Green lights out there. Right now, I'm feeling bullish, especially towards the end of the week. We'll see if Friday kind of turns around on us, but I think we can get some push here. Let's take a look. You're going to start seeing some strong stocks, or some stocks start seeming strong. Let's take a look at ARKK. Look how that's trying to get through 46. Where can we watch some of these stocks? Well, Coinbase. Look how Coin is getting off the ground. Looks like a lot of people are just loading up some coin, trying to get it to ride. As you can see that pushing. Beam has been really strong. A lot of these biotechs continuing the lift. Look at this NTLA, multiple times fighting that 65.10 mark. I think this could get through that tomorrow, and then you see that next level up in NTLA. You guys can watch some other ones, of course, like CRISPR. Those have been trying to hold the gains. Biotechs. I think these are the ones that you're going to be watching right now. They're definitely leading. Look at Spotify getting off the ground. A lot of bottoming action down there towards the 95s. It held the 100 again. Could be coming on back here, and we'll continue to watch what happens in these. Even Roku coming back today. So who knows where we're leading to right now. Roku's definitely stuck into this kind of descending wedge. We'll see if it can get out of it, get up there towards the 100, or break down through the 80s. Who is buying Netflix? I don't understand. Netflix is pushing up. A lot of that looks like a run into earnings. A lot of times we see stocks do this, where they run into the earnings and usually sell off right towards the close. That's what I was looking for in Netflix today. We talked about it a little bit earlier. The question is, will it continue to run into the close here? It looks like we are. We're getting a nice little push back. So looks like there was some profit taken here. when you started ticking back down to the 200, but it held right now, and it doesn't look bad here. If we get some good numbers to come out, and it's about to be 4 p.m., so maybe that hits the tape right here, we're going to take a look. It could have a spike. Just be careful on out there, like always, guys. There you guys see it. Netflix coming on in here. What are the earnings? I want to take a look here really quickly, see if I can get them to you before I get you guys over to Cannabis Insiders. There you guys see it. Netflix taking off to the upside. I had that feeling that potentially you could get the numbers. I need to see the subscriber numbers here. What is going on here? I need to pull up my Benzinga Pro. Need to keep a close eye on this. What happened here? Does someone have the Netflix numbers for me? I'm trying to look around here, trying to get it for us. You can't stop it. Mitch, Netflix up there to 215, man. We'll see what happens here. Definitely the algo's grabbing it. Let me go ahead and try to pull that up here. What do we got here? All right. Looking to see Netflix's numbers here. Anyone got us? Got to pull it on up here. Was on Netflix's kind of earnings outlook here. Let me try to pull it on up here. There it is. Financial statements. Let's go. All right. Looks like there's some subscriber numbers. Let me pull that on up here. Oh, that's great. Man, this is a little bit harder as it comes in right there. There's the EPS there for us. Looking at the subscribers numbers. Where's the subscriber numbers? That's what I'm looking for. Who's grabbed them? Here's the Netflix numbers. We're seeing that rise. I got to get on out of here. I got to get you guys over to Cannabis Hour or Cannabis Insiders. So you guys go check out some cannabis. We'll talk all about this, and I'll cover this on the Netflix earnings call. That's going to be later at 6 p.m. Eastern. I got to get you guys on over to kind of Cannabis Insiders. Already went extra. We'll see you guys on over there.